Your name is Ian?
Zabarte. Yes. Wait, makeup! All out, and on behalf of Western Shoshone and Southern Paiute people, we created our Native Community Action Council, which did the research. We produced this handbook, and later on, that research was used as part of our contentions in the Atomic Safety Licensing Board presenting our expert testimony in which met the threshold for our involvement in the Yucca Mountain licensing proceedings. So I just want to give you that background. And I'm going to run through this in a moment, but I'm speaking on behalf of Native Community Action Council and traditional Western Shoshone, which I've been involved with for 25 years on both of those issues. So answering the three questions, what are your three most important issues? Using and determining a culturally appropriate context for determining risk. You know, who is the perceiver of the risk, the hazard, the threat? So we believe, and one of our contentions in the Atomic Safety Licensing Board was the EPA and the DOE did not use a culturally appropriate context for determining who the reasonably maximally exposed individual. We said that person would likely be living a native lifestyle 1,000 or 10,000 years in the future, not living on a farm, getting eggs and cows and getting their water out of a well, but drinking out of naturally occurring water sources and the such. Joe's going to pick up some of this stuff as well, since we've worked closely on this for years. Outreach and education is to tribal communities. That's what we're working on. Ending, correcting, and preventing genocide. Now, I emailed to Susan and Scott the background material on these issues, researched, footnote, and everything. So you'll have it if you open your computers and they send forward it along. How do you see the issues you're working on connecting with nuclear issues around the nuclear weapons complex? What I've come to understand, I went to UNLV here, I did my senior environmental studies thesis for fun. It was accepted by the Society for Risk Analysis for presentation of their plenary session. And the professors here got me to the point where the issues are really the large-scale deployment of technology, whether it's nuclear or coal or cars, automobiles, you know, and the way we live. So when we talk about nuclear technology, it's not safe, it's not renewable. Or we talk about coal or oil, it's not safe, it's not renewable. The things that are solar, tide generators, these kinds of things, windmills. And so when we look at coal, oil, gas, these carbon CO2 emissions, and the way they operate nuclear technology, we need to view them in the way they actually exist. We can't be anti because they're real and we use them. So we need to look at them as transition technology until we choose the safe and sustainable solar and tide generators. So that's the way I talk about these things. So how could national groups work to help ensure success on your issues? Connect us with researchers to collaborate with. You know, we need to continue to do that work. Provide information on fundraising opportunities and collaboration. I'm putting together a National Institute of Health grant right now. Send in comments on the Nevada Nuclear Security Site-wide Environmental Impact Statement. Right there, but we're doing that as well. And then sign my sheet here and make sure I get it back for this presentation I'm going to give
We'll
you.
let you pass that around.
Okay, so I answered those questions. Now I get to the fun stuff.
All right. You've got 12 minutes for fun.
Good,
I
good.
can flip if you want.
No, I'll flip it because
Then I'll get out of the way.
So anyway, this is what we're taking out to our communities. We got a 44-page study guide which doesn't have any pictures, so all the pictures are here. And this is what we worked on the set years and years ago. And this is what our Native Community Action Council, I'm not really talking on the Shoshone government now, but on behalf of the Native Community Action Council. And this is our mission. And the coyote represents Shoshone and Paiute. And the basket, we were all carried by the Creator. And the people are down at the bottom, and the rams are representative of Paiutes. The Creator carried us out this way, and everybody climbed out of the basket. And that's a Jacmalaw artwork here. That's a burger basket. So coyote carried us here, both Paiutes. And he talks about the Shoshone. This stuff is going to be emailed to you. And then the southern Paiute, okay? And then this is basically the questions for lesson 1. There's 7 lessons. Why is it important to understand what happened at Nevada test site and the effects of nuclear testing on both our people. So we talk about what happened, 928 tests, 24 jointly with the United Kingdom, 220 of them depositing radioactive fallout over large areas. Iodine 131, cesium 137, strontium 90, and plutonium, tritium. These are the radionuclides that we're most concerned about. They get into our bones, and then the communities that were hit hardest. I've been living out of Moapa. Pointer. I'll get it. This is why we have these tools. But I've been living out of Moapa, about 50 miles north of here, and they have a coal-fired power plant. And one of the issues that we're transitioning to, or you may not know, is that coal contains uranium. And on the EPA website, it's called naturally occurring radioactive material. So California, there's a coal-fired power plant right there. And California Water Resources has their coal-fired power plant right there. So it's great that California is going green, as long as they have their coal-fired power plant killing Paiute Indians, and Shoshone, because it's Shoshone, in Nevada. So when they mine coal and they burn it in a coal-fired power plant, it increases the concentration of the uranium. It is called technologically enhanced naturally occurring radioactive material. There's another one there at Valmy. Okay? So we're bringing up these issues as part of our research, and this was our original project, and we do talk about health histories and interview everybody, give some of the history, how we live. It's very important because when we're Nua, Paiutes are Nuovi, and when we brought the researchers out and took them hunting, it's kind of goofy when they're out there and they're stumbling around because they're eggheads. Sorry. But they realized that we prepare the food differently, and because of the way, lifestyle, diet, and lifestyle differences alone, diet, mobility, and shelter, our risk increases. So this is the Western Shoshone lands. This is the Southern Paiute Aboriginal territories. This is actually our treaty territory. Southern Paiute don't have a treaty. They're actually the descendants of the Anasazi. I want to run through this because I have how many minutes?
We have 9 minutes.
Oh, shoot. I thought we... Okay, so we had similar hunting techniques, antelope drives, hunting parties for large game. Now, what's interesting about the Paiutes is that they are the descendants of the Anasazi. The Anasazi being a time period and not a people. Okay, and so that's what I learned out there. They have baskets, thousands-year-old. They have grains in those baskets, and there's pieces of pottery, and they've farmed the tributaries of the Colorado for thousands of years. And Joe, if you ask him, and he won't forget, he's going to talk to you about the sun dance of the Shoshone. Not the sun dance, the ghost dance. The Shoshone ghost dance, because there's a site out there. Don't forget to ask him about that. And then talk about how we live. So one of the things that we found is that we traditionally gather dead wood to heat our homes, to cook with, and to heat the rocks up in our sweat. And some of this wood, we might find a whole canyon full of dead wood. It's like, wow, well, we got a lot of dead wood. It could have been from the fallout. And so we chop that wood down and go burn it. And, we got another exposure pathway. So we got to educate the people and talk a little bit more how the people worked. This will be emailed to you if you ask Susan. And
I'll send it out.
Scott.
I will email it to you.
Everybody had their computers out earlier. I was thinking,
I don't know, well, I didn't want them to be distracted.
They could have followed along. So this is the plaque out at the Nevada test site. Background and history of the Nevada test site, where it's located. Oops, sorry. So there it is. I lived right here at Cactus Springs, across from the west end runway for 15 years at Cactus Springs. And now I'm living right out over this way, about 50 miles. And my home community is just a little further over here. And you'll see from the fallout map as we get there. So there's the Nevada test site. Mount Charleston, Las Vegas is just down over here. Mercury is right over that way. This is all within Western Shoshone and Southern Paiute Aboriginal lands.
Ian, is Mount Charleston
mountain you can see from here?
Yeah, it's right over there.
Okay, so it's on the...
Oh, and I wanted to point out, next time, why don't you take an easy tour? I got 2 locations you can get to, so be comfortable. If you don't know about it, Frenchman Mountain over here or Sunrise Mountain, what is seen there only is seen on 5 places on the planet. When people come to Las Vegas, it's called the Great Unconformity. All of the Earth's 4.5 million years of rock strata is lined up from here to the lake. And people come here and they don't even realize it. What makes it the Great Unconformity is that there's 120 million years of the rock strata missing. And you either got to hike to the bottom of the Grand Canyon, which could be hazardous, or you can just go out over here. It's the Great Unconformity. And then you can go out to the Valley of Fire over the other side of the Paiute Reservation over there, and you will see petroglyphs of aliens, okay, and alien spacecraft. Those are things to talk to Paiutes about. We talk about that, but we don't talk about Area 51. So, just running down nuclear waste, 115 reactors, 74 sites in 31 states. And what was really interesting about this is that all these sites, the waste that would be shipped to Yucca Mountain, they would become a river, and we would bear the full burden of risk from every shipment from every site as they got over this way if Yucca Mountain was chosen. And that's how unfair it is. There's Yucca Mountain. It's back there. It's covered with, it's back there, okay? We have a prayer pole right there, and that's Yucca Mountain covered with snow in the back over there. So I thought, here's cinder cone volcanoes. There's like 7 in there, and there's 26 fault lines. They named it the Ghost Dance Fault. And there's another rendition of it. And you can go to this website, and you can see all the documents that we prepared and filed in the Atomic Safety Licensing Board proceeding. Somebody had to do it, so I'm not a lawyer, I don't practice law without a license, but I did write the briefs. I prepared the initial petition for TMSHA 13 years ago. It took 9 years to get that certified, and NCACU became a party withstanding an atomic safety licensing proceeding. I had to do it, I filed it, and I brought 3 parties. And I dug deep into my pockets, it cost me thousands of dollars. Clark County brought only Clark County. They did 15 contention, it cost them $15 million. Here's the Obama memorandum, January 29, 2010. It says, it is not a workable solution. Yucca Mountain. About 3 weeks ago, they took the Nuclear Regulatory Commission formally ended the licensing process. My computer has been connected with the NRC for several years now. And then we just talk about our uploading and downloading documents. And we just talk about radiation. This is very good though. This is one of the things we learned through our research. Concludes, this is the first time ever that any U.S. government agency has made this statement. Committee checks biological response is unknown. There is no threshold model of radiation most appropriate model for estimating risk. So I'm sure everybody here is familiar with that.
In other words, there's no
safe level of exposure to radiation from any source. So
they don't say that very clearly.
Right, I don't have time to be clever here. Here's a sedan plowshares thing. Who's with plowshares? This is Atomic Annie. The Comanche are Shoshone near Fort Sill. They own Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and Lawton, Oklahoma, and we did go down to Shoshone reunion. That's Atomic Annie. It was out here at the test site. They actually have it at Fort Sill right there. That's where it's located, and they had like 16 of those things built. And this is to give you a fallout map. My community is right over here. I'm living out over here with the Moapa Paiutes. And just to give you, this is cumulative fallout and how we did an off-site radiation exposure review profile based on lifestyle differences, and we found that we had increased risk. So maybe we've seen this from 97 to forever. This is a dog tag from some of the native people who were here back then, and they were followed for years. This is radiation experiments, and they were followed. This one's like 65 or 70 right now, and basically we talked about lifestyle and parts of the body that are affected. External exposures, the milk pathway, and then the hunting pathway, and how we prepared the stuff, and then the type of radionuclides and how they get to our body that we talked about. There's my information. Right email. I got more information too, so. Thank you.